Chapter 2. As Sebastian undressed Lillian, she closed her eyes in despair. But the worst did not happen that he expected. Instead, pulled out Sebastian took the needle and pressed it into one of Lillian's meridians. He then carved the process with 7 more needles all over his body. Then, Sebastian pressed his hand on Lillian's chest. The needles in his skin began to tremble and glow faintly in the air. It lasted about 5 minutes. Sebastian looked tired when it was over. "All right, put your clothes on," Sebastian said as he pulled out all his needles. Lillian expected her death. His eyes widened when he heard Sebastian's words. "His chest no longer hurts and he doesn't feel anything. Did you save me?" Lillian said in disbelief. "Isn't it obvious? Who else is in this room besides the 2 of us?" Sebastian blinked. Lillian was shocked. He knew how bad his heart condition was. Even the best doctor in Ravenview City was only able to prolong his life. The doctor warned Lillian that she might die the next time her condition attacks again. However, Sebastian was able to heal his heart with just a few needles in just a few minutes. What kind of extraordinary medical skill does he have? Lillian quickly dressed and said to Sebastian, "Don't think that I will thank you just because you saved my life." "Oh, I'm not counting on that. I'm just glad you won't hold a grudge against me." Lillian was silent. How will he hold a grudge against Sebastian now that he is the one who ruined his purity? But he was the first to approach her. And then Sebastian saved her life from death. What right does he have to hold a grudge against him? "Just take the money as my medical fees. We are equal from now on," said Lillian, and she prepared to leave. "Wait a minute," Sebastian called. "Isn't this money for my bed service? When did it become your medical fees?" Lillian was very embarrassed. He just gave Sebastian $10,000 to ease his heart and warn him not to see him again. "I'll send the rest to you. I don't have any cash left now. All I want is cash. I know you might try to trick me later. I'll withdraw some money right now and I'll give it to you," said Lillian. "No way. Where will I go to find you if you run after you leave?" Sebastian snorted. "Why don't you just come with me to the bank?" Lillian said angrily. "That's not possible either. What if you deny it happened? We don't have a definite agreement yet. I can't fight for myself, especially when you sabotage me afterwards." "What is your idea?" Lillian was now bored. Sebastian thought about it before saying, "Why don't you send someone here to bring the money?" "Don't." Lillian now refused. She won't let anyone know that she slept in a hotel with a man. "In that case, we only have one choice." Sebastian smiled strangely as he stared at Lillian. "What is that?" "Since you served me last night, you will serve me today. I will release you when I am satisfied." Sebastian grinned. "You." Lillian shook with anger as she pointed at Sebastian. Finally, he let his hand drop and closed his eyes, as if giving him permission to do whatever he wanted. Sebastian resisted the urge to take Lillian at that moment. "Hey, girl, you should be the one giving me the service, not the other way around." Lillian got even angrier. He shouted, "Just do it if you want." Lillian comes from the Smith family, the richest family in Ravenview City. It's hard for her because she probably lost her virginity. It was impossible for him to give Sebastian a service now. "I've lost interest in your arrogance." "It's okay. I'll find my fiancé," Sebastian said lazily after yawning. "How can an animal like you have a fiancé? What woman in her right mind would want to marry you?" Lillian sighed. "Oh, my fiancé is Maria Lisbon from the Lisbon family," Sebastian said happily. Lillian clicked her tongue. "How can a girl like her like you? Her family is also influential here in Ravenview. Can you get over lying?" Naturally, Lillian never lost Sebastian. Even though the Lisbon family is lower than the Smiths here in Ravenview City, they are still considered upper class.
You don't believe it? Too bad. You can leave now. You can't do that when my desire gets stronger again. Lillian immediately runs out of the room, a scene that is funny for Sebastian. He laughed quietly while holding the money. Sebastian is known as the Supreme One, a man worth billions and CEO of the Phoenix Corporation. As a genius in the field of medicine, Dragoth's genius healer Ezequiel Moniz is nothing but Sebastian's weakest disciple. Even the head of Drake's Den, the strongest martial arts clan, is only an informal disciple of Sebastian. But now, Sebastian is here who has been mistaken for a gigolo. It's okay. My fiancé is still waiting for me, Sebastian said to himself. He stretched before putting on his clothes. Suddenly his phone rang. When he answered, a voice spoke with great respect on the other line, Supreme One. I'm here at your hotel and I'm ready for anything you command. You are the branch manager of Ravenview City? Sebastian asked uncertainly. Phoenix Corporation has branches in most major cities with separate managers. Sebastian couldn't remember them one by one. Yes, sir. I received news of your arrival from headquarters, so I personally went to meet you, answered the man. I'm on my way there, Sebastian answered directly. An elderly man in a suit hung up on his phone outside the hotel door. He was none other than the branch manager of the Phoenix Corporation in Ravenview, Casper Jones. Casper gestured. More than a dozen Rolls-Royces sped off in a straight line. Casper stood there humbly even though he was the most powerful person in the Phoenix Corporation's Ravenview branch. That is because he will meet a very important person. Lillian came out at that moment. Even though she was tired, her beauty was still shocking. He was surprised by what he saw outside the hotel. Isn't this Casper Jones, the Phoenix Corporation's Ravenview branch manager? What is he doing here? Even though the Smiths are the most influential family here in Ravenview City, they still deeply respect the Phoenix Corporation. Especially since this is the most powerful company in the world. But Lillian didn't expect to see Casper, as if he was waiting for someone. What kind of person deserves her attention now? Is he so rich? Is someone from the top management of Phoenix Corporation here? The hotel is closed. Leave as soon as possible, a bodyguard told Lillian. Who are you waiting for, Mr. Jones? Lillian asked Casper. Oh, it's you, Ms. Smith. I'm sorry, but I can't tell you who I'm waiting for, Casper said kindly. Lillian left. She felt bad after losing her virginity and she wasn't in the mood to pick at whoever Casper was waiting for. Suddenly, Sebastian came out of the hotel wearing his cheap clothes. Is that the animal again? Lillian said before she hurried to the parking lot. Where have you been all night? Lillian. I fell asleep at my friend's house, Lillian lied. He can't talk about his night with a stranger. Hurry up and go home. Your grandfather won't last long. What? Lillian was surprised. I'm on my way. But soon he witnessed something he would never forget. Casper and dozens of his men knelt in front of Sebastian. Supreme One. Everyone greeted him with great respect because they knew that Sebastian was a man who was almost like a god despite his ordinary appearance. You can stand up now. Drop me off at Lisbon's residence. 6 Rolls-Royces accompanied Sebastian and Casper as they left, surprising onlookers. You can stop here, Sebastian said before he reached the Lisbon residence. Even though he is engaged to Maria Lisbon, He still needs to get to know her better. The best thing to do for that is to see him alone.